For 2 years, Rodent Service has provided an innovative, ecological and environmental friendly system of rat control, with attention paid to the rapidly changing scenarios of the sector. 20 years, the amount of rats and mice, and consequently marine infestation, has increased notably. There are no official statistics to give us the exact number of this rodent population. However, we can make a correlation. If we consider that at the beginning of the 19th century, 11.7% of the world's population lived in towns and in the larger metropolitan areas, at present, this percentage has risen to 50%, so we can correlate the phenomenon of urbanism and the development of the greater metropolitan areas to an environment that attracts infestations of rodents in ever-increasing numbers. With Ecomille and specialized services for rodent control, we can do away with pesticides and other poisons that entail a series of serious risks and dangers, such as for the safety of children in schools and preschools, the safety of domestic pets and non-targeted wild animals, the safety of food raw materials and foodstuffs, and avoid the problem of poisoned mice and rats under furniture, on streets, in false ceilings, and inside air pipes, becoming dangerous sources of uncontrolled infectious outbreaks. The 3 species of problematical rodents are Rattus norvegicus, better known as sewer rats, Rattus rattus, better known as roof rats or brown rats, Mus musculus, better known as domestic mice. The struggle to eliminate rats and mice is not an easy one, and has been an ongoing battle for mankind for many years. One of the characteristics that causes the difficulty, and that has been technically defined, pest control, takes into consideration several biological and ecological aspects. Example of these are, rodents are cosmopolitan animals, therefore can live in any kind of climate. They are resistant to anticoagulants, the so-called poisons. As regards rats, they have characteristics of the CD neophobia. As regards mice, they have neophil characteristics, which makes them curious, attracted to novelty. They are able to ovulate spontaneously, which enables them to decide when to give birth. For example, there is also the Bruce effect, which allows rats to perform a kind of self-abortion. Prodigious fecundity allows the species to very efficiently and rapidly reproduce in great numbers. Mice and rats are a great risk to human health. They are the cause of many diseases transmitted from animals to humans, the so-called zoonosis diseases, as well as other medical issues associated with asthma and allergic reactions in closed locations. Other risks for public health: schistosomiasis, a disease carried by rats that every year infects about 40 million people worldwide; murine typhus, salmonella, leptospirosis, trichinosis, and fever caused by rat bite. Recent studies have shown that household mice are carriers of a virus that causes cancer of the mammary glands in female mice, which is correlated to breast cancer in humans. Every year, rodents are responsible for the loss of 1/5 of the world's food production, and 1/5 of the world's fires caused by short circuits because of rodents gnawing on wires. Rats dig tunnels underground that can cause land to cave in and riverbanks and ditches to collapse. In the United States, the cost associated with the activity is estimated at around $19 million, while in the United Kingdom, Salvatore Catini. I am the head of the ecological pest control sector, and this for us is a period in which we are totally concentrated on efforts in this ecological sector. I can't stress that enough. I would like to mention here this article in a magazine. Help! 120 million mice are invading our cities and towns in the Valle d'Aosta and Friuli regions. Rome, Milan and Palermo are the cities where the invasion is the worst, with 2 to 3 rodents per inhabitant. Therefore, we can only imagine how we can coexist with these rodents. They are spreading in frightening numbers. EcoMiller is the first electromechanical device that can ecologically trap a large number of rats and mice without the use of poison. Free poisson, free of poison. It is capable of continual rat control of 3 of the major infesting rodent species, and can keep the captured pests inside the same tank for many weeks without producing putrefaction. How are the rodents caught? Attracted by the device, as the rat eats bait at the main feeder, it sets off a sensor attached to the feeder. The sensor, set at a sensitivity of 1.7 grams, sets off a 90-degree rotation of the corridor that becomes a trapdoor that causes the animal to fall into a tank. This technique, compared to the alternative method, rat poison with 48 to 72 hours of agony and glue traps with 12 to 18 hours of starvation, is less cruel than poison, as has been established by the Istituto Consorcio Maria Negri Sud. How does the law read? With the enactment of the Ordinance of the Ministry of Health of the 18th of December 2008, for the first time in history, Italy has declared war on the use of rat poisons that were regarded as innocuous or only relatively harmful, in spite of all their highly dangerous characteristics. Carrying out the law will require greater responsibility on the part of municipality mayors, who are required to apply it, along with the obligation of ongoing investigation. Another regulation limiting the use of poison in eliminating rodents is the requirement for posting signs to announce the start of the pest control process 5 days before beginning the job, and the mandatory use of security tanks that will keep the rats from leaving and taking the poison out with them. We are in a public park in Rome. We are watching the installation of an EcoMiller pest control device. This operative phase has followed a thorough inspection that has allowed the technicians of rodent service to identify the critical areas of infestation. The first phase entails placing natural bait in 16 feeders on EcoMiller. The tanks are then filled with EcoFix, an alcohol-based liquid that has the dual function of rendering humane the death of the animal, which is caused by an alcoholic coma, as well as preventing the dead animal's bodies from decomposing. The EcoMiller team begins its work of checking the environment in order to rid the area of all its dangerous pests. The area can now be declared pest-free quickly and efficiently, as well as ecologically, without harmful effects on the environment caused by chemical contamination or by poisoned carcasses.